All righty. All right. So welcome, you guys. Welcome to the first of the Dream Toolbox workshop. So the Dream Toolbox is the entrepreneurship training that we're going to be talking about. And just to let you know, as I was about to start to say, we're going to be, this is an active conversation. All right. It's not just me talking. So I'm expecting you guys to help me out. Please. I want you guys to be involved. That's what the whole thing is. You make it interesting. If you can be on camera, I would really appreciate it if you'll do that. That helps me out. That helps you guys out. I want you guys to get to know each other. And because, like I said, this whole program, I want you guys to know that this program is special. This is a very big deal, what you guys are going through. And just for those of you I haven't met with, and I'm just going to run through it real quickly, how you guys kind of got to be here today. So one of our county supervisors, Hilda Solis, made a motion basically in a meeting to help 300 to start as a pilot, to help 300 of you guys to go through a program for 3 years, pretty much through June of 2025. And it's basically a program where all of you guys will receive $1,000 a month. And my job is to be your coach. And I've done this for many, many years, over 25 years, and been working with, investments and, working with people, financial literacy and so forth. So I'll be talking about financial literacy. I'll be talking about college and careers. We'll be talking about entrepreneurship. We'll be talking about a lot of different things that are important to people your age. I work with, people from 16 all the way to age 25. And so, like I said, we're going to get to know each other. That's why it's important for us to do that one-on-one meeting. But today we're going to be talking specifically about one of my favorite subjects, which is entrepreneurship. And I have to say that entrepreneurship has been part of my life pretty much all my life, as a matter of fact. So there's something I can tell you guys a little bit about, and I'll tell you in a second. DeAndre, what's up, man? Good to have you. Thanks for being on screen. Thank you for being here. In the chat box, there are 2 links. There's one I'm about to put in there again. This link, the first one is for you to do the survey, okay? So any of you that have not done the survey yet, I'll say that one more time. Actually, I'm going to say it a lot more times. But yeah, if you have not done the survey, here's a link in the chat box for you to do the survey, okay? So make sure that you do just the pre-survey now, then you'll do the post-survey afterwards, but it's in the chat box. All right, so just to tell you, like I said, a little bit more about it. So the program was put together by Hilda Solis. 300 of you guys are going to be, going through this program through June of 2025, and I'm going to be your coach. And my job is to help you learn about different things that you guys are interested in. And so I have to say that entrepreneurship has been the #1 issue that people have been interested in, and that's cool. I like that. You guys need to think entrepreneurial. And so this class, or the workshops that we're going to talk about as far as entrepreneurship, just to let you know, we're not going to be talking about how to build a spreadsheet and build a business plan. There's all kinds of people that can talk to you guys about that. What we're going to be talking about is a program that helps you think like an entrepreneur, how to build an entrepreneurial mind. Okay, and I'll tell you a little bit about the story about that in a second. But yeah, that's really what the focus is to not just to talk to you about how to build a business and so forth. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but it's also how to think like an entrepreneur. So today's workshop is really going to be talking about building the dream and how important the dreams are and so forth. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll walk through the workshop here. There we go. Share screen. Okay. All right. So here is the Life Prep Academy. So for those of you, once again, who I have not met with, you don't know what this is, but the Life Prep Academy is the website that we use in order to make sure that we're able to store all the data that we're working with in this program. And also it's where the curriculum is. So our curriculum is called the Life Prep Academy. This is one of my businesses, okay? Just to let you know, I have 2. I have a nonprofit business, I have a for-profit business. My for-profit business and my nonprofit business use this website in order to help students prepare for college and careers and life after high school and entrepreneurship and learning about financial literacy. So let's take a look at what's in here. So what's going to happen is, for those of you I haven't given your login to, I'm going to provide you with a login, a username and a password, and you'll come to this website, click on students and parents, click on sign in, and it'll take you to a page like this called sign in. All right. So when you get there, you'll click on sign in, and it'll take you to a dashboard. And on the dashboard, this is where everything gets started. Now, this is not the workshop where we talk about the dashboard. We have an orientation, and when we meet one-on-one, we'll go into depth about what's on the dashboard. But the dashboard is where everything gets started. I just want you to know that. The dashboard is where everything gets started. And the quickest way to navigate through the dashboard is this link right here called Quick Links, right here at the top, all right? So always remember, Quick Links is the quickest way to navigate through the entire database. So when you click on here, it takes you to a page, and this is what's behind all those buttons on the front, okay? Now, the area that we're gonna be talking about today, we've talked a little bit about the colleges and the career and stuff like that. What we're gonna be talking about now is gonna be down here under post-secondary options. Anytime you hear the word post-secondary, all that really means is that that's after high school. Anything after high school is post-secondary, okay? So that's where we talk about apprenticeships and entrepreneurships and technical schools, military. We're gonna be talking about entrepreneurship today. And as you see here pops up the Dream Toolbox. So the Dream Toolbox is really what we're gonna be talking about today. So let me give you a little history about the Dream Toolbox. And when I do that, actually, I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of history about myself also. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much all my life. I started out with those kids that, when we were going on field trips, in elementary school, I would be the one that collected money from kids and went and got snacks and stuff like that and made a little extra off of the top. I would sell firecrackers. I sold dirt at one time, because the guy wanted to do some work in his front yard, and I took all the dirt out of his yard, and he told me I can get rid of it, so I sold it in the neighborhood. That was just always my mind, okay? When I was 19 years old, I was in college, and was at Long Beach State studying psychology and thought that that's what I wanted to do. But I was always really good at computers, and that's when really computers were just getting started. I mean, you guys were so young, you don't even know that. Way back in, the Apple computer started in 1983, 84, okay? And that's when I was graduating. So I'm in college, and I decided that I want to start my first business. And my first business was a computer consulting business. And we did real well. We helped build systems, and we put in networks, and we did all kind of stuff, cleaned computers and, sold computers and all kind of different things. We were real successful for a few years. And then the war in 1991 happened, and all kind of different things went on. So I had to transition from that. And then I went back into, then at that time, banking, and got my license for selling stocks and bonds and so forth. And so, we'll talk about that also, my journey. But the point is that I've always been an entrepreneur. And I've always had people who would help me because they saw my drive, okay? They saw me being, really interested, really wanting to do it. And the thing I want to make sure that you guys understand is that there are people out there that would want to help you, and they will want to help you. But they have to know that you want this, and they got to know that you're serious about it. They got to know that you have a plan for it, okay? So fast forward many, many years, and I meet as the gentleman that's on the screen here, Ken Aldridge. So, I'm now in my 50s. He's probably about 48, 49 when I met Ken. But yeah, that was 8, 9 years ago. So I'm in my 50s now. But I met Ken, and I'm at a workshop because I believe in educating myself. And so I go to these workshops on a monthly basis that teach me how to build my business as an entrepreneur, as a nonprofit director. And I always go to meetings to learn different things. And he was at one of these meetings. And I was talking to him about my business, the for-profit and the nonprofit. And he said, hey, man, that's a really good idea. Let's talk more. Long story short, he took an interest in me. Okay, he took an interest in me, and I didn't know that much about him. But to tell you a little bit about Ken, Ken is what they call a serial entrepreneur. That's what he called himself. And all he means by that is that, man, he has developed many, many businesses. He had 11 very successful businesses. He helped other people build and start businesses. He was a very wealthy man. He was a very successful man. And Ken decided at one point that he wanted to start to give back. And so he started, volunteering in nonprofits and helping people and supporting nonprofits and all kind of different things to help youth. And we met. And when he learned about my story and he learned about what I wanted to do, he took an interest in it. And so, over the time we met, over 4 or 5 or 6 years, and probably in about the 6th or 7th year that I had known him, it was when, it was 2020 when the COVID broke out, okay? And so Ken was then telling me that he had written this book called The Dream Toolbox. And he had also created some podcasts, just some audio podcasts that were called The Dream Toolbox. And then he told me, he says, Eric, I want to increase my usage, and I want to give this out to young people. I want to give these to youth and teach them how to be successful. And so I said, okay, I'll help you with that, but I don't think they're going to listen to the podcast. So I said, by the way, Ken, I need to go from what I had at that point in time was a printed book that you see now on the screen, but I had a printed book that I was selling to different people. And I said, I need to make that online curriculum so that I could sell it to schools and nonprofits and governments and things like that. And if you'll help me go back to school again, even if 50 something years old, if you'll help me go back to school again to learn how to build websites, I'll build my website and I'll build your website too. And he said, cool. So what I did for me is I built our website, the Light Club Academy that you're seeing. And what I built for him is this here, 21 videos, okay? These are the 21 videos that we're gonna be working on today. And what I promised Ken, and unfortunately Ken passed away about a year and a half ago, about a year or so ago. And what I promised him before he passed away was that I would take this information and share it with you guys to make sure that I can help as many young people as possible so that they can build their dreams. And he says, absolutely, do that for me. And like I said before, he passed away, I made that promise. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So this is thanks to Ken Aldridge. All right, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. All right, so before we get started with the Dream Toolbox, I wanna talk to you about some just basic things. And these are things that I wanna make sure that you understand, because these are, I hear it a lot of times people don't know exactly what's going on. So let's walk through here. Let's talk about business ownership structures. And so people don't know exactly what are all the different structures that you could possibly use as far as having your business. So let's walk through them. Sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is it's a one-person business. Okay, it's not a big giant business. And if you have a small business that you don't think there's going to be a lot of liability for, I mean, there's not going to be something where you're going to be, you know, on the hook for thousands and millions of dollars and things like that. It's a small business and really small and not much liability. Then it could be okay to have a sole proprietorship. And the nice thing is that you don't have to worry about major taxes and going through all kind of different, you know, structures and things like that. It's a very simple way to do business. And it's probably the way that most people start with their business as a sole proprietorship, okay? So there's some pros and cons that are right there on the screen. I'm not gonna read all of them for you, but the main thing is that there's no major paperwork and so forth, but there's no protection against liability, okay? We'll talk about that liability in a second. Partnerships. So if you have someone that you want to work together with, there's a way that you can work with them that's a legal way. It's called a partnership. And they have like limited partnerships and so forth. And once again, I'm going to send you guys links to this page. So we're not going to read everything on this because these are just the basic. I want you to know the basic. There's partnerships, there's limited partnerships, and there's limited liability companies and things like that. So those are basically the types of partnerships that you can be in where you do have some protection as far as you know, potential liability and so forth, but there are partnerships that you're going to be working in. What most people are looking to do is corporations, okay? Now, corporations have some major benefits. The major benefit that the corporation has is the fact that it has its own life. It's its own entity, okay? So what it does for you is it shields you from liability, all right? So the main thing is that for you as a business owner, if you get it really big and you have shareholders and directors and things like that, it shields them from liability, because if something should happen, say, if you were going to have a plumbing business and you have a plumbing business, you burst a pipe in somebody's house and it costs thousands of dollars to fix and you mess up their whole house or something like that. Well, then if you don't have a corporation with liability protection, then if you don't have the money to pay for it, they can not only sue you, but they can sue your whole family, and it's like come after your house and your car and all kind of different things. But when you have a corporation, the most they can do is to go after that corporation, okay? So that's the main reason that people form corporations, is because it gives them a huge amount of protection against liability. And it provides you with a structure where you can actually have investors. If you decide that you want to have somebody invest in your business and you want to grow it and so forth, put somebody's name and branding or whatever the case may be, you know, it's a really cool way to do specifically that. So a corporation is a very safe way to do business. It costs about $800 to create, or a little bit more than that in some cases, 800 to 1,000 or so, a little bit more. It costs $800 every year because you have to file paperwork. So you have to know that you're going to be making at least $800 or more so you can pay that money and keep your business going. Because if you don't pay the $800, then they'll shut your business down, okay? So you need to make sure you understand that, but the corporation is a wonderful way to do business. Then, so like I said, I have a for-profit corporation. I also have a nonprofit corporation, okay? So the nonprofit corporation, what is that? So nonprofits don't make money, right? Wrong. Wrong. Nonprofits, some of the biggest businesses in the world are nonprofit corporations. But the difference between a nonprofit corporation and a for-profit corporation is the fact that you don't have to pay taxes on the money that you earn because it's donated by people who are going to get a tax benefit. Okay, so let me say that again. So this is the way we do it. So if a nonprofit organization, in a nonprofit organization like mine, I have the ability to go out and say, okay, I want to be able to do work in the community and to be doing something charitable to help youth, to young people, 18 to 25. I want to go out and teach them how to do things like manage their finances and to get into college and all these wonderful things that I want them to be able to do. And I can go to Wells Fargo and State Farm and, you know, all kind of different people. I can even go to county organizations like the County of Los Angeles, who is the person I'm working for in this particular case through our nonprofit corporation. But I can talk to these different people and say, I want to do good in the community. And they will say, okay, Eric, we will give you money in order for you to do good in the community. And the nice thing about it is that unlike a for-profit corporation where I don't have to, you know, reveal anything, in a nonprofit organization, I have to tell all about what I do. I have to show them where the money went, how much I paid myself. And that's a fine thing because I can raise millions if I want to. I just have to show the government how I use the money to benefit the community, okay? So that's the main difference between the two. You can make money, you can pay yourself a wonderful salary, you know, just like with a for-profit corporation. It's not that you can't make any money. I mean, you have to live, you have to be able to take care of yourself and your family in order to run your business. The only major difference is that with a for-profit corporation, you don't have to talk too much about your business and how much you made and things like that. You just have to pay taxes on what you made. In a nonprofit corporation, you do have to talk about what you did with that money because people gave you money, they made a donation, they're going to get a tax return, a tax benefit from it. And therefore, you need to inform the government on how that money that you took in as a donation was used in the community, okay? So very important, nonprofits are great. Then there's cooperatives and other ones and so forth, but this is one really cool website that you can use to learn about business ownership structures here. NOLO, and just to show you here how to form the corporation when you're ready to form your corporation. This website here, NOLO, and I'll put these into the chat. This website is cool because it walks through how you go through. You choose your name, you file your articles, you appoint an agent, you prepare your bylaws. And once again, we're not going to go through all this because you can go through this yourself. Appoint directors, you can issue stock, you file your information. So this website here is the one that you will use. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put those two into the chat box right now so that you can go there. So keep, you know, make sure you copy these and keep the transcripts from today's meeting so that you can go and check those out later on if you want to. So this is how to form your corporation. Okay. And then this third one here. So this same company, NOLO, they're like the industry standard. They know all kind of different things about law and so forth. So if you want to create, you know, anything that you want to get a book on about law, you know, about bankruptcy, about, you know, consumer protection, criminal law, you know, in this case, you know, building of a corporation, how to starting and running your business, you know, you can click on here and learn about, get a book. And only for, you know, for $45, $50 or something like that, you can get a really cool book. You know, same thing for the nonprofit world. If you want to do that, you can get a book that can show you how to form your nonprofit. And these are the best. These people know everything about it. One young lady said she wanted to start a real estate business and to invest in real estate and all kind of so forth. So here's a book on how to buy houses and so forth, if that's something that you're looking for.
Are those free?
Yes, someone, someone want to say something?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, are those free?
No, here the costs are right here starting at. So you can buy these books, but these are, like I said, from the best resource in the industry. You can click on these and buy one of the books and learn exactly what you need to do in order to, whatever it is that you're trying to learn about.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So now we've talked about if you're going to be creating the business and starting it by yourself. Okay, so that's a cool thing is that you can use all these different books and you have all these resources. And frankly, I did this. I went through and I read all these different things because I've started more than one business over my life, many businesses. And so I read these books in the beginning. I wanted to know these things because the best possible thing you can do is to have the knowledge for yourself, okay? So I would say start with reading the book. However, if you are someone that wants to expedite the process, there are companies like this one here. I've used this company. It's called Legal Filings. So Legal Filings, for a fee, they will take care of all that work for you, starting all the paperwork and handling all those different things. But you can have a company that will actually do all the paperwork for you. And then all they'll do is basically give you a survey to fill out, and they'll take some information down. They'll create all the legal documents. They'll send it into the California state, and they'll send you copies of everything and so forth. So if you want to make sure it's done 100% right and you don't want to go through the whole process yourself, you can hire people to do it. And it cost me about $1,000 or so to do it, but it was worth it, in my particular case. So if you want to go this route, yes, you
What
can do it.
what company did you use it for? Your nonprofit or for profit?
For actually for both, as a matter of fact. Yes. Like
And
over the
the
years,
1,000 was individually, or it was for both?
it was for each one of them, because they were done at different times. Okay. And it's not all upfront. What they'll do is they say, okay, the first one thing we have to do is to file three or four papers. So, send us $300. So we'll give them $300. And they'll tell you, okay, once that's done, now we have to do this. That'll be $400. Okay, cool. I'll send them, and there's basically what they're doing is they are looking at all the fees, and you can find all these exact fees on the different government sites yourself. Okay, so they're saying the government fee for the franchise tax board is going to be, $395. Okay, we're going to charge you $425. So we make a $30 fee for completing this form. Okay, cool, fine. If you want to do that, fine. Okay, so that's how it is. So they actually show you the full fee, and then they're going to show you what their fee is on top of it, and it's always very fair. And once again, it just kind of expedites the process for you, because one way or another, you're going to be paying those state fees and so forth anyway. It just helps you kind of cut through and make sure that that everything's done properly, because this is all they do on a daily basis. Okay.
With that, do they pay your initial taxes, like your 800?
They will, if you want them to do that, they will say, yes, we will take care of all your filings for you. The fee for that is, so you send us a check for $900, I guess, or something like that. And we will pay the $800 filing fee for you. We'll pay the $20 application fee, and our fee is $80 or something like that, something like that.
Okay. If I can, will it?
Great questions. Thank you. Keep going.
No worries. Oh, thank you. I was gonna ask, dang, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I'll ask it later.
No worries. That was cool. So now, Crystal, for 2 reasons, you are going to receive a gift card. Okay, for 2 reasons. Number 1, you are on screen. And number 2, you're asking questions. Like I said, guys, I want you guys to help me make this interesting. And these are interesting questions. She's probably asking questions that you guys are thinking about too. I don't want it just to be me talking. Let's get more. You guys don't want to hear all that. So thank you, Crystal, for that. So remind me afterwards, send me a little email or something like that, and you have a gift card coming for being, once again, part of the conversation. So thank you. So yes, any other questions before we go on? Before we go on, we actually just have, let me see, is there one more page that I want to show you on here? Show you here. Okay, yeah. So perfect. Aaron, too, good job. What's up? Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on. Okay, let me go to the Life Prep Academy here. So now we're going to talk about the actual Life Prep Academy. So you guys, you know the basics, how to form a corporation, all the different forms that you need, all those types of things, who to call to. Oh, I didn't put that one into the chat box. I'll put in the link for legal filings into the chat box. So if you want to, I'm sorry about that, Aishanae. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, so here's the link for legal filings. If you want to go and check them out, once again, they're good people. And you can even, let me know beforehand, and I'll make an introduction if you want me to do that. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Ken Aldridge, once again, he became a mentor of mine, not just a mentor, but a friend of mine. And I have to say, I love the man. He became someone who really took an interest in. And the funny thing is that, once again, people will take an interest in you if you show that you are serious in what you're going to be doing. And so I want you to meet Ken, because he's not, someone who grew up rich or anything like that. So I want you to meet him. We're going to watch 5 videos today, and we're going to talk in between those videos. All right. And so I want you guys to be ready to be part of the conversation. Please be part of the conversation. When you do be part of the conversation, come on screen if you can. But let's get started with just an introduction. So this is episode 1. And okay, it took me, once again, once you sign into this to the site, if you don't do anything for 5 minutes, it'll log you out. Okay, so we'll get started here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Dream Toolbox introduction, meaning everybody just called him Uncle Ken because everybody loved him like that. So yeah, we'll meet Uncle Ken, and then we'll come back and we'll have a discussion in a second.
Welcome to the Dream Toolbox. I'll explain what that means in a minute. But first, I have an important question for you. Do you have dreams for your life that just seem always beyond your reach? If so, this podcast and the ones which will follow are very specifically for you. They are designed to open windows of economic opportunity that most people don't know even exist, and to provide a set of skill-based tools to reach those dreams of yours. What I will have to say is designed particularly for young people just starting out, but it is applicable to anyone who thinks they are condemned to a life lived in the lower levels of economic achievement because they are too young, too poor, a member of an ethnic minority, or a woman who thinks it is still a man's world. Those things just aren't so. And I hope I can demonstrate to at least some of those who hear this recording that age, poverty, gender, race, or any of a dozen other excuses people have for not living an abundant financial life are just not that important. But dreams have to be converted to reality by work, and work requires opportunities. That's why I call this the Dream Toolbox. But first of all, you need to know who the heck I am. Who is this guy who is purporting to give you ideas that might change your life? My name is Ken Aldrich, and for many years I've been a serial entrepreneur. That simply means that I've started a flock of businesses, and most of them have been successful enough so that I haven't had to work for many years, except on things that I really wanted to do. I've also helped to finance a lot of other entrepreneurs trying to make their dreams come true, and I've seen some things that work and some things that don't. Those experiences have changed my life. But it took me many years and a lot of luck to figure out the things I want to share with you. And my goal now is to pay my good luck forward by saving you years of struggle if I can. I didn't start out wealthy. I started out as a 50-year-old kid working for 25 cents per hour as a car hop in the beer stand. Worked menial jobs and boring jobs to get myself through school, and finally got a college degree and a graduate degree and went to work in a job that I then found I really didn't like. And I found myself wondering, was it all really worth it? Fortunately, I found a way to change all that and have had many years of what I can only call a wonderful life. But it took me many years of trial and error to discover that success is not about struggling to get a better job, but about building and using a set of mental tools that make fulfilling dreams easier, faster, and more certain than I would have ever dreamed. Those are the tools in the Dream Toolbox. Now, what are those tools? Well, there are lots of them, and we can't cover them all in one short discussion. But there is one tool that is central to everything. If you can change the way you look at yourself, if you can see yourself as in power, in control of your own life now, then you can make your dreams come true and actually be in control of your life. You absolutely can do just that. And in the conversations that follow this introduction, I hope to teach you the techniques to speed that process. Other techniques you'll learn on your own once you start experimenting. So I hope you'll stay tuned, follow the conversations that follow this one, and I'll go into a lot of detail and show you a lot of different tools. But first, I'm going to try to keep each conversation relatively short. So I'll close now and hope that you will follow the ones that come after this. Thank you so much.
All right. So let's start with this. How many of you guys, where do you guys see yourself? Can anyone come on, on screen and on camera, on mic, and tell me, where do you guys, does anyone want to tell where they see themselves in 5 years, 10 years? Can anyone share what their dream is? Does anyone want to talk about that?
I'm gonna be successful.
Okay.
You know, like, super successful as far as like I got a career path that's gonna lead me and open doors for a lot of different other things.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna happen within 5 years for sure.
Okay.
And that's yeah.
Okay.
You want me to get specific about it or just like
I
a
was about to
good?
say, man, we have a few minutes. You know, if you want to get a little more specific, you know, what does that mean for you? I mean, what does that mean? You know, be super successful. What does that mean?
That means financially and economically stable, successful. For real. That's kind of what it means for me. Uh, and then just doing something I love to do
There you
and
go.
getting paid for it.
There you go.
For real.
Very cool. Okay. Mark Anthony, you had something to say, my man? I don't know if I can't. Where are you on there? Okay, go ahead. Mark Anthony, are you there? Okay. I think you might be having issues with that. I hope yeah, make sure you're on mute right now. Yeah. There you go. Yep,
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, my bad. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I was saying that I see myself in 5 years as an entrepreneur and helping other people open businesses as well. You know,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to really learn the field of business so I can be able to teach my family, so I can lead it on to other generations. You know.
Right. No, I like it. You want to tell what kind of business you're thinking about?
Yeah, I was thinking about opening up landscaping business and like my own farming company
Okay.
where I
Very
can
cool.
grow my own crops and stuff, and I can sell it out to everyone.
Very cool.
Healthy things.
Very cool. You could make that happen. You could make that happen. You could definitely make that happen. You know,
Yeah,
and
I see it in my vision very clear. So I already know it's gonna happen. Y'all gave me the opportunity to be on the screen, so I might as well make it happen.
there you go. And now, like I said, when we get together, man, like I said, we need to do our one-on-one because when we get together, we'll talk about your dream. We'll set up
Yeah.
how you make your plan to make that happen. And then that's where I kick in, is with then I will say, okay, these are the things I can do to help you reach your goals and to reach your plan. All right. So that's why it's important for us to get together. But I can't help you. I have all kind of resources, but I don't know how I can help you unless we talk and you tell me
Yeah.
what it is I can do for you. All right.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else want to say anything before we move on?
Can I say something?
Sure, Nora, absolutely. What's up?
Sorry. So I see myself in 5 years, hopefully with either a set career or starting a business. I tried to start a business. Do you guys know what wax melts are?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you put them in your wax warmers. It's like a hot plate. It's supposed to make your room or your house smell good. My problem with that though is I couldn't get the scent quite right. It just ended up smelling like beeswax or the soy wax. The essential oils weren't strong enough. So hopefully I can make that better and that'll go somewhere.
No, see, that's unique. And that's a very cool thing. You said two things very important. That's very unique. Right. And you want to definitely do something unique. And you're starting right now. You can take, I have failed so many times. Most people who've been successful have failed so many times. You guys are young. So the nice thing that you can try them over and over and over and over. Okay. So yes. And also you said something about your career. I also want the people to understand that when we're talking about entrepreneurship and what we're talking about with this particular workshop is that even if you don't necessarily want to have a business, even if you want to have a career and work for somebody else, you still need to think like an entrepreneur. Okay, so that's what we're really going to be talking about is thinking like an entrepreneur. Okay, so go ahead. What else did you want to say? Anybody else? Okay. All right, let's see. I think who's that?
I do.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
In 5 years, I see myself as a millionaire because that's my goal. I want to reach 1 million by the time I'm 30. I'll be 25 this year.
Okay.
And I already have a for-profit business. I own a cleaning business. And girls, please, okay. I want to eventually get to where I can no longer have to do the footwork for my business. So
Right.
within the next 2 years, that's my plan, is to no longer have to actually be cleaning.
Yep.
And then I also want to start a nonprofit to help people get their guard cards, because I was doing security for a while, and as a transitional age youth, which is when I started my security, I guess, adventures.
Mhm.
One moment, please. Once I started my security adventures, I realized that a lot of the people my age could not afford it. So
Yeah.
that's why I want to start that nonprofit to help people get their guard cards for free,
Yeah.
get the training, and also job placement. 'Cause that's what a lot of us transitional age youth have an issue with, is getting job placement, and especially because of our age. So
Yeah.
besides demographics and whatnot, but
Very cool. Very, very cool. I like it. I like it. Good job, Crystal. And like I said, I'll be here to help you in any way I can. So you let me know what I can do to help. I see a hand raised there with iPhone. I can't tell what your name was. Was that again? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You didn't hit the mute button there. Your microphone button. Yeah, there you go.
I just wanted to know, I just wanted to let you know that I was joining the group and everything. You feel me? I know I kind of joined a little late.
Oh, no worries. I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Lamaya,
Oh, okay. What's up? How you doing? Okay.
I'm
Okay,
doing
great.
good.
Okay, good. So here, let me put into the chat one more time, is that this is the survey that I want you to take. Okay, this is the pre-survey for those of you who haven't done it yet. I'll put it into the chat box again. So fill out the pre-survey. Oops, no, that's the wrong thing. I put the wrong thing on. Hold on a second. Yeah, fill this in, and then afterwards you'll fill in the post-survey afterwards. Okay. All right, but welcome. We'll get started. Okay. Okay, guys. So great. We're gonna move on. Everybody, go ahead and put on to your mute. We'll have plenty of time to talk. But thank you, guys. This is exactly what I want. I want to hear from you guys. So everybody, mute yourself, and we're gonna look at the next video. At the next video, then we'll have another chance to talk, because we got a lot of talk. That's what we're gonna be doing. Most of it is gonna be talk. So now, the main thing that Ken wanted always to make sure that you guys understand is how important the dream is. How important, to visualize it, to see it, to smell it. I mean, just to really live it. Okay. So this one's going to be talking about how to create your dream. And then once we finish this one, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay. So this is creating your dream.
Welcome back again to Dream Toolbox. Let's talk some more about belief systems, because they control everything else that is in the Dream Toolbox. Belief in yourself and believing in your dream is a strange thing. With it, there's almost nothing you cannot achieve. Without it, nothing will happen. Creating that belief and making it so much a part of your brain that nothing can ever shake it loose is a lot harder. The mind wants to say, I must be crazy to think I could do that. But you can do it. And there's a way to make your dream so much a part of who you are that your subconscious mind will find ways to fulfill the dream even when you can't see how it's possible. One of the most powerful tools to make dreams real in your mind is a process I call active dreaming. Others call it visualization, and has been known for many, many years under these and other names. What I can tell you from firsthand experience is that it works. So here's what to do. First, decide what your dream is. You can have more than one, but it's better to pick one big dream and focus on that until it becomes a reality. It needs to be something that you really want to happen, not just a, that would be nice kind of a dream. Second, once you have the dream defined, fill in all the details in your mind. My original dream wasn't particularly noble. I just wanted to have $1 million in my bank account. But then I imagined every detail of what that would feel like, what kind of house I would live in, what kind of car I would drive, what the smell of the leather in that car would be, what it would be like to take the woman I love to dinner and never have to worry if I could pay the bill. Third, in my own case, I created a whole life story for my dream, and every morning for 10 minutes, I would close my eyes and live that dream in my mind. I didn't allow myself to think about how I would achieve it. I imagined it as if it were already real, right then, not in the future. That is the beauty of the mind. It can create future things and make them real today. We've all had that experience in the dreams we have at night. Sometimes we wake up and think they actually happen. That is the kind of clarity you want to achieve in your mind. After doing that active dreaming exercise every day, use all the other tools in your mental toolbox to pursue that dream in your daily life. Dreams will require daily work. But what you will have done with active dreaming is to program your subconscious mind to see the opportunities that you might otherwise never see, each one of which gets you closer to your goal. Stay tuned for more tools for the Dream Toolbox.
All right, so someone tell me, why is active dreaming important? Can anyone tell me that?
In my opinion, active dreaming or visualization is important because that is one, the law of attraction, and also it gives you the, I want to say it gives you the feeling of already having completed it, and it gives you the motivation to get, you know what I'm saying, to the drive to actually do it. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's 100% right. Anybody else? Anyone else want to tell me what their version of that is? Yes? All right. All right, well, I'll tell you. Active dreaming and visualization is probably one of the most important things you could possibly do. And the reason is because if you don't really see it in your mind, if you don't crystallize it in your mind, it's hard for you to really, to think about it. And, I remember someone telling me, hey, man, you need to cut out pictures of what you want and put them up on your wall and on your mirror and things like that. And I used to think that was silly, but no, it's very serious. It's very serious. You need to see the different things in your mind. And one thing I will say this is too, about luxury and so forth. I had some students say, well, money doesn't buy happiness. And I'm saying, no, you're absolutely right. I don't want anyone to think that, I want you to be rich and to, be powerful and so forth. If that's what you want to be, cool. But money does not buy happiness. It does not. It never will. It never has. It buys you options. Okay. It buys you some things if you want. It does give you, in some cases, some safety. In some cases, it gives you access. In some cases, it gives you something that my man Mark Anthony was saying. It gives you the ability to do for others. Okay. So, hey, it would be cool to be able to, Ken was able to make donations every year to people just because he liked doing that. Okay. And he was in a position financially where he could just say, keep all my principal money in the bank account, but all the interest I get on the money, I'm gonna give that away just for fun. Okay, how cool would that be to have that kind of money? So in my case, man, to be able to meet someone like this was a gift. Okay, and so once again, I'm trying to now bestow that gift upon you guys. And so with that active visualization, I want you guys to think about it. So there's a silly thing. I'll just tell you something funny here. There's a website that's called American Luxury. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm gonna put this into their website, into the chat box here. But American Luxury is kind of cool. American Luxury is, if you want to just see how the rich and famous live, and I do like that stuff, you can see this. So you can learn about all the people who get the best autos and real estate and technology and so forth. So one of my particular ones is that I like to dream. Okay, I like to dream about where I want to live. Just so happens that my man Dr. Dre just recently decided to put one of his houses on sale. Okay, so I'm trying to get the down payment put together, y'all. Right? Yeah, I'm so okay. It's probably a little bit out of my range. It's $20 million. Okay, but this is Dr. Dre's house, and so I look at this and say, man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to one day own something like this. But wow! And so I just like to look at it. Let's see what Dr. Dre's house looked like. What does he wake up to? And this is just one of his houses, And I'm thinking, man, I may never, I have a nice home. I have 2 kids, 2 cars, 2 dogs, and all the rest of it. But wow, just one day, if my business can get successful enough, where my wife would definitely love that kitchen. We always talk about putting an island in there and so forth. Would it be nice to have, this kind of a lifestyle? And once again, I just want you guys to see what's going on. And she would definitely love this closet. I don't know if some of the young ladies would agree with that. To have the sauna and the steam room, the workout room, Of course, Dre has a studio in the house. But y'all say, man, I don't want to know about Dre's house. I want to know about somebody important, like, oh, you see here, maybe Jennifer Lopez or somebody like that. Let's see what J-Lo's house is. Let's talk about somebody important. So let's have a backyard that's 42.5 million. And once again, who knows if we'll ever be this kind of wealthy. but just to have the kind of lifestyle. So what I do is I actually visualize it. And so that kind of gets me motivated to think, man, one of these days I can have something like this. I don't necessarily probably want something this big because I'm older now. You guys are young. I don't have any kids. My kids are grown. But I would like to have something like a ranch, a 2.5 acre, maybe 5 acre ranch in somewhere in California where I can, I live in a nice area now here in LA, but to be able to get away to my ranch, to go out and have all these kind of amenities in my nice ranch and things like that. But yeah, so this is J-Lo's house. But once again, that's not the important thing. The thing is, I just want you guys to dream like this and to visualize it. Whatever it is that your dream is, to see it. You guys need to look at it all the time, over and over and over, because that really helps you build that dream. So active dreaming and visualization is extremely, extremely important. And does anyone else want to say anything before we move on to the next video? Does anyone else want to make a comment or anything like that?
Yeah, I want to say
Yes.
something. Well, it's this. Sorry, it doesn't have to do with that. I was trying to figure out how do I do the survey because it went to something else.
Oh, okay. Here, let me see. Hold on a second here. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you the wrong one. I'm sorry. I see what I did. Okay, here we go. Let me give the survey. Shoot things out the way. Yep, I sure did. I sent you to the wrong one. Oh, why didn't I copy? That's what happened. I didn't copy. All right, that should be the right one there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, so make sure that you fill out that survey, everyone. Okay, anything else? Anyone else want to say anything before we move on to the next one about believing in your dream? Because once again, you can have a dream, but if you don't believe it's going to happen, man, it's not going to happen for you. So anyone else want to say anything before we move on to believing in your dream? No? All right. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Dream Toolbox. I promised you in the last session that I would talk about what you believe and why that matters. Henry Ford, who created the automobile industry as we know it today, once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." There is no more important concept to understand than this. Our belief systems determine where we will end up in life. I'm not talking about religious faith, although that can be a huge help if it is strong, but rather about those fundamental things we believe about ourselves. So how do you change fundamental beliefs from I can't to I can? Without that change, success is very unlikely. With it, it is highly likely. The core beliefs about what we can and cannot do are embedded in us by parents, family, and friends almost from birth. And sometimes well-meaning family can be the worst. Let me give you a personal example to illustrate this. I spoke at a conference for high school and middle school students a couple of years ago and told my own story of going from a family in which no one had ever finished college to attending Harvard University. During the question and answer period, a young woman who was considering where to go to college told her story. She had the grades and the SAT scores to get into the college of her dreams, but everyone around her, family, friends, and even school counselors were telling her, "Don't do it. You won't fit in with all those rich kids. They'll look down on you and you won't succeed." I heard her telling her story and it made me angry. So I interrupted to say, "That is nonsense. Don't believe it." I entered Harvard as a poor kid from the Midwest who was terrified of the rich prep school kids who were in my class. Within weeks, none of it mattered because we were all in the same boat, struggling to learn the same new and exciting things. You can create your own success. She burst into tears and said, "No one has ever told me that before. Thank you." I later learned that she had entered a prestigious college, and I have no doubt she will end up near the top of her class. So what changed? Her belief system about what was possible for her. That's what changed. In the next session, I'll give you some other examples to illustrate this. I think they'll be helpful. Thank you.
All right, I think this is probably the most important one in my opinion. So let me ask this question. Please, someone come on and talk to me about this. Why is believing in yourself, I should say that in yourself, why is believing in yourself so important? Why is that important? especially for an entrepreneur? Anyone? Come on now. Come on, talk to me, somebody.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
There you go. That's exactly. Exactly. Was that Delina who said that?
Yes, it was Delina.
Okay. Exactly. Yes, exactly, Delina. If you do not believe in yourself, you know, hey, it's you know, people are going to, okay, I got another question, but you're absolutely 100% right. People are sometimes, people who love you, who do not ever want to do you harm, will not be able to wrap their mind around your dream. Can anyone tell me about that happening to them? Okay, if not, I'll share my story. But can anyone tell me a time where a friend or a family member, someone you love, you know that loves you, and you told them your dream, and they were like, yeah, man, that ain't never gonna happen. Can anyone tell me about that situation? Anyone? Come on.
I got a good one.
Okay. All right, we got two. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a dream too.
All right, so let me call it. So Aaron, you go first, and then we'll come back to the next. We got plenty of time. So Aaron, go ahead.
It wasn't really me, but one of my friends, his mother would always want him to move back to his hometown when we moved away for college. Like almost every weekend, she would like try to come get him or say like, you know, just try to convince him to move back. You know, even though that environment wasn't, you know, the best for him or whatever like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was, you know, trying to better himself, but it was just more like you can go to school here, you don't need to do that, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Right. No, I feel you. Okay. Who else was that? Go ahead and say what you had to say. Go ahead, someone. Or Crystal. Go ahead, Crystal. You was gonna...
Okay, I was gonna say that there was a time, I'm gonna say it was last year, and I started my business in 2021, but I'm not too in contact with my father. And you know, we were talking about my birthday, and he goes, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna take you out to eat. Maybe we could go to McDonald's," which is our little tradition, as you know, as I grew up, McDonald's or Olive Garden, something like that. And I said, "Oh, you know, Dad," I said, "I'm okay on that." I said, "Can you maybe buy me some cleaning supplies for my business? I started a business, you know, could you buy me some cleaning supplies?" His response was, "Oh, no, I'm good. I don't even think you should have that business. I don't think you're doing the right thing." And you know, that was somebody pretty much like telling me like, you know, I don't really believe it. So I was like, okay, it's more motivation.
Yes, man. I'm sorry, but yes, but I'm sure you, because I could just hear it in your voice. You said, "Oh, all right, well, whatever." You know, so hey, no, and that happens a lot, you guys. Okay, who else is that on the iPhone? Go ahead and tell me. Say your name first off, so everybody knows who you are, and then say what you're gonna say.
I'll go.
I'll go after her after she goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really like, well, it wasn't really like a goal or anything. Well, sort of it was, because it was a goal I accomplished. But basically, I was telling my grandma like, oh, my credit score went up, and she was like, I guess her credit score is like the same as mine, and she was like, oh, my credit score is the same, or like anything that I do that is like doing better in my life, like, you know, getting a car and stuff like that, stuff that you're supposed to do like as a young age. She'll be like, oh, why don't you get me a car? Or why don't you do this for me? Or just like, you know, kind of like try to be like, I don't know how to explain it, but if you get what I'm saying, like, oh, trying to like make me feel bad about myself a little bit, like, oh, I'm not doing as good as I'm supposed to be doing or something like that.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I've been there. Like I said,
Hello, Maya. Nice to see you again. Yeah,
hey,
I'm sorry. Y'all didn't even gotta do that. Like on some real life stuff. You know, when people do that, they're trying to get you to forget about your dream like they did. So keep that in mind.
Yes. Thank you. Keep going. What's up? Who's that? Japal that want to say something?
Shit, I mean, just to piggyback off that, I wasn't even gonna go off that, but shit, I feel like I come from that. I definitely come from the parents making you feel bad for them not being a parent when we're the kid that's supposed to be the parent. But that's another topic. I would say, my dad was one of the first haters, or not haters, just like somebody that didn't believe in a dream, and then that was early on. So I just came on here to say like it don't even be people outside your camp. It could be your closest. It could be bloodline. It could be anybody you know who not might not have believed, but you got to keep pushing. And I was able to keep pushing. Hold on, it's an ambulance driving by real quick. It's kind of loud.
Yeah.
I was able to keep pushing though, you know what I'm saying? And once I got to the level that I was trying to get to from the beginning, like his actual words and quote was like, "Oh, you really doing this now, huh?" Like it was just like I've been doing it, but you just couldn't accept and believe that I was gonna be something more prosperous than him possibly, because he made I don't know, it's a lot of weird stuff that go on with like egos and stuff. So anyways, I just came on here to say it could be your own people. If you don't got your people, I don't got my mom or my dad, I still made it. I made it happen. You know what I'm saying? My mom never had a car. I got 5 cars. It's like you gotta just keep pushing and can't I would want to be an example under them anyway. So I hope you guys have that same type of mentality. You know? I think that's the right mentality to have. You know?
You're right. You're right, man. I will tell you that people who love you, like I said, these people, and they not, in many cases, they're not trying to do you harm. They just can't feel your dream. They may not have a dream as big as yours. You know what I'm saying? They may have never been able to see themselves trying to achieve anything other than doing what they do. You know, and it's not that they're trying to hurt you, you know, so I want you to make sure that, because I went through a situation where, man, I'm thinking, come on, mom, you know, yeah, I'm gonna try this out, mom, I'm gonna try this, you know, whoa, Lord, but baby, you could, mom, I'm gonna try this. And, you know, I'm not in my late 50s and I'm doing well. And like I said, I got a nice life and so forth, and everything worked out fine. But a lot of people, they may be worried for you, they may be scared for you, they may want you just to have something that's safe and secure. And that's all cool. You know, and let's talk about a 9-to-5 job. Let's talk about that. The best thing you could possibly do if you're an entrepreneur is to either have a 9-to-5 while you're getting your thing started, or if you're old enough and you decide you want to get married or have a spouse. Man, my wife is a 9-to-5 person. I love her, okay? She creates stability in my home. When my business does this, her check is like that. You feel me? Anyone feel me? All right, give me a thumbs up or something if you hear me, okay? Okay, I know that everything is cool because I have a spouse that has my back. She knows that I'm an entrepreneur. She feels on that. She's a doubter too. You know, my wife's a doubter, man. I mean, come on, y'all, let's be serious, okay? She's a doubter too. She does not entrepreneur, but we've been together for 27 years now. So she's understood this is who this man is. And she's seen me have success. She's seen me have failures too. But there are a lot of people that love you that cannot wrap their mind around your dream. So you just like my man Paul said, you just got to keep rolling. You just got to keep going, got to keep moving, and don't let that stop you. Okay. So that's the main thing that I want you guys to understand. And there are always going to be people that are going to throw obstacles and things like that about you, and going to be, you know, things are going to be in your way to achieve your goals, but you can push through them and you just keep going. That's the main thing. Okay. So let's take a look at beliefs as tools. Okay?
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead. What's up, Aaron?
How do we like maintain that relationship with people that don't really well, you say, you know, they love us but they just can't wrap their mind around our ideas? How do we maintain that relationship with where we not really letting that come in between, you know what I mean?
No, that's an excellent question. Excellent question. Frankly, you got to be the more adult of the two. You have to be the more focused of the two. You have to be willing to say, you know what, look, I know you're not trying to do me harm, but you can't see my dream. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I tell you what, let's not even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to lose my relationship with you because it could be your brother, it could be your mother, I don't want to lose my relationship with you, but you're bringing me down. So I don't want to, you know, even go into that with you. Let's just talk about something else. Let's not make that part of a relationship, because I, as an adult, have the ability to make decisions about what I want to do with my life. And if I want to pursue this, I'm young enough to try and to fail and try and to fail and try and succeed and try and succeed. And you know what I'm saying? It could take time, but you have to love them enough to not let that come between your relationship. However, and I'm gonna be serious about this too. I've had people in my life that were so much of a rain on my world that I had to dismiss them out of my life. I'm talking about friends in this particular case, people I thought were friends, all right? People I thought were friends that challenged everything I did and had questions about everything I did and so forth and couldn't see the dream. Well, why don't you just, well, you know what, look, the people you hang with, let me put it like this. I want to hang with successful people because that's going to make me successful. All right. You know, if I'm a ball player, I want to play ball with the big dudes because the bigger dudes are better than me and they're going to teach me how to be good. If I want to learn about business, I want to talk to a man like Ken Aldrich who's built 11 businesses and understands that. So what you fill your mind with is going to determine who you are. If you have a constant stream of negative coming into your mind from people around you, then slowly but surely you're going to doubt yourself. And like I said, I'm almost 60 years old and I still doubt myself about things. You know, that's just natural, that's nature. But if you allow negative people to be in your world that are going to be raining on your dream, then you probably will give up your dream at some point in time. Surround yourself with people who are positive. Surround yourself with people that are doing things. There are groups of young people who are all young entrepreneurs that think the same. You need to be hanging with them. You know, these people on this call, this is a whole community. You need to be talking to these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I can say to you, Aaron, is that, you know, you don't want to dismiss those people out of your life, but at some point in time, you may have to distance yourself from those people if that's going to be the best thing for your own psyche. Does that make sense to everybody? You know, thumbs up or hello or something. That makes sense? I hope so. All right.
You got to love people from a distance.
Yes.
Boundaries.
Yes. Go ahead, Nora. What's up?
So I'm the only child and I'm 23. My parents had me when they were in their 40s. And my dad's brother, he has 3 children. They're in their 50s and they have children. So they compare me a lot to them, even though they're a lot older.
Yeah.
So that's another hard thing to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because I'm not at the point that they're at yet.
Yes.
And I lost my mom in April of last year. So now it's just me and my dad. So on top of that, I'm taking care of him and he's in his 70s now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know, it's a lot on you. So, hey, I'm sorry about your mom. I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
Lost mine a while back. And so, yeah, no, hey, you take care of yourself. But I'm looking at some of the things in the chat here. Put yourself first. You're absolutely right about that, Nora. Think that way too. I you know, put yourself first. You know, it's, you guys got to take care of yourselves. You really do. You have to take care of yourselves because you are the most important thing in your world. Okay. You know, and if some of you are taking care, I've met some of you guys that are taking care of other people. You know, you can't take care of others unless you're taking care of yourself. You know, you've heard that, that type of thing. So I want you guys to think like that. But okay, so I just want to make sure that we have plenty of time for the next 2 videos. Did anyone else want to say anything before we move on? No? Okay. All right, let's go on to the belief system as tools. So let's take a look at this one here. Beliefs as tools.
Welcome back again to the Dream Toolbox. I promised you that I would give you another example of why beliefs matter. Quite a few years ago, I was approached by a man I knew only through a mutual friend. He had little formal education, but he had a real estate license, a small real estate company, and the dream of building a high-rise office building using a construction technique that had never been tried in an earthquake area like Los Angeles. What he did not have was any experience or track record of having done such a thing, and he had no money, nor did I at the time. We also had a third partner who had grown up in the construction industry and knew a lot about construction, even though he had never built a building on his own. What all of us had, however, was the absolute belief that we could do it. With that team and that dream, we set about to build our building. I won't bore you with the details, but a few years later, a 30-story high-rise office building lined the skyline of LA and had withstood a major earthquake that validated our faith in the construction methods we had fought for. I can also tell you that in the several years that it took to put that project together, we had many near-death experiences in our business, including my bank demanding immediate repayment of a loan that was several times my entire net worth. But what made it all work was that we looked at each other in these crises as simply, and at these crises, I should say, as simply problems to be solved, not proof that we were doomed to fail. How did that happen? Well, we had some luck, of course. But everyone has luck many times in life, both good and bad. The difference is whether you take advantage of the good luck and find a way to deal with the bad. Succeeding at that depends on whether you believe you can. It's all about Henry Ford's statement. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So how do you build that into your own brain? That's the subject of the next chapter.
What was that quote that he made? I was writing that down. He
Oh, I'm
said,
sorry.
take advantage of good luck and what about bad luck?
Here, let's go back and take a look at it. So,
Into your own brain. That's it. And find everyone has luck many times in life, both good and bad. The difference is whether you take advantage of the good luck and find a way to deal with the bad. Succeeding at that depends on whether you believe you can. It's all about Henry Ford's statement. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So how do you build that into your own brain? That's the subject of the next chapter.
all right. So, like you said about Rahm Emanuel, a crisis. Let me tell you about a crisis that we had. So we had books. All of our resources were books, printed books, sold them to schools, churches, groups, nonprofits, Cal States, all kind of different people. And all of a sudden, something happened in 2020 that changed everybody's world. COVID, all right? Life completely changed. Nobody needed me because I couldn't come on campuses. No one wanted books because there was no students to talk to. My business was in crisis. Immediately, feel me, okay? This is how I make my living. This is how I pay my rent. This is how I take care of my thing. So immediately I went into crisis mode. I had to look at that. What can I do with that challenge and to turn that around? I turned to someone who believed in me, Ken, in this particular case, and I was thinking, what can I do for Ken that will make him believe in me enough to invest money in me so that I can learn how to build my website? Now, and you say, well, why didn't Eric, you just hire somebody to build the website? Because the website that you're looking in front of you, when I asked somebody how much it would cost to build, it was like $250,000. Okay. I said, no, you got to be kidding. Because I used to build WordPress websites and things like that. But this is a whole lot different than that type of thing. It has a whole database and all kind of different things. So yeah, I couldn't do that. So I had to learn it myself. And I had a little bit of knowledge, but I knew if I went back to school and learned it, I could learn exactly how to do it. So I went back and took a course, and I was able to convince Ken to help me go back and learn that. And because of that, I took that crisis and I turned this for my business into a major success. Okay. Now, all the people who couldn't have anybody on their campuses, they needed that online program. I got that. All those people who couldn't, track things and so forth, they were using Excel spreadsheets to track information. No, I got a database built in. So now all of a sudden I'm here with you guys. Okay, that's how I got here with you guys, because the county looked at our system and said, wow, this is something I think could help the young people. It's all online, but I was able to turn crisis into a success. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, I hope so, because that's what you're going to be dealing with. It happens over and over, and that's just a normal thing. But you have to have your belief system be strong enough that if something happens to you in your business, that you're able to roll with it and see it as an opportunity, and to look for the new things, because all kind of things happen. We are doing better now than we've ever been. We are more stable now than we've ever been. We have larger clients now than we've ever had. We are working with more students like yourself and doing better, more impactful work than we've ever done. And it was because of the COVID situation. We stopped selling books. Okay, I don't even sell printed books anymore. So things happen in your business and you have to be ready to flow with them. So I want you guys to understand that. That's a very important part of it. Would anyone else like to say anything about that? Just rolling with the punches. Does anyone have something where they had to pivot or change or whatever when inside their business or just in their life that they want to just kind of run through? Anyone want to say anything real quickly before we move on?
Yeah, I'll go. Initially, when I first started my business, mind you, I was self-taught, all just like, this is something that I want to do. So I'm just going to teach myself how to do it. Granted, I wasn't very thorough. And so, in all of my research, granted, for the most part, I'm solid, but so I ended up going with an advertisement company, and which was Yelp. Yep. They're pretty solid. They brought me a lot of leads to my cleaning company. Like I was getting hit ups like 15 people per day in the Antelope Valley alone that wanted me to come and, probably, give them a quote or, do my cleaning services. But what I didn't pay attention to was what I was going through internally. And I was really depressed and unmotivated. And so what happened is I was not responding to those people. I was losing leads, which also, reflects on your performance in the app or on Yelp. And that, that shows companies like, yo, this person probably, isn't really serious about it. Although I just didn't have the mental capacity. So you got to really take care of yourself before you start trying to like really jump into stuff, or at least make sure you take care of yourself as well along the way.
All the time. Absolutely. You're 100% right. Because they call it self-help and taking care of yourself. That's one of the things that I do. I recommend to everyone, take time for just yourself. Take time to think. And the nice thing that you guys have time, really think about your business. Think long-term. I always say to students, it's important for you to when you think about the kind of business that you want to have too, this is something I probably should have said earlier. You need to really think about your career or business choice that you're going to make. It has to line up with the lifestyle that you want. So if you want a certain lifestyle, then you need to have a certain career or a certain business that's going to provide you with that lifestyle. Okay, I hope that you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so if you want to have a multi-million-dollar house, that means that you're going to have a business of your own, something like this, be a doctor, lawyer that makes that kind of money. You're going to have to create a career or a business option that's going to provide you with that. And then also, one thing I want you guys to understand is, even if you're going to be a business person, you still may need to take some college courses on business. Okay, the best thing you could possibly do, one of the things is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah used to say, and several people back in the day, and I've heard this a million times, hey, write your own checks. All right, write your own checks. You don't want to be hiring people to do everything for you. Then the next thing you look up and your money's gone or it's not being handled properly. You want to understand the workings of how to run a business. You want to understand how to do your taxes and when the taxes are due and what is expected of you. How much are you going to be paying? If you want to hire employees, can I hire them as part-time or as a consultant, or do I have to pay workman's comp? You need to know those things. Okay, so it's important for you to take the time to educate yourself. So this is the way I think about it. The lifestyle that I want dictates the type of career that I'm going to choose or the business I'm going to choose. And once I choose that, then I need to understand what kind of training or education or college or whatever it is I'm going to need in order for me to be able to run that business. Okay, always think about it like that. You need to be always thinking, how can you continue to learn, how to take more classes and so forth. And I'll just tell you straight out, I never went back to college. I never completed college. Okay, I took 2.5 years. I'm almost done. I'm still taking classes, just kind of like to do it. I just passed my statistics class, matter of fact. Thank you very much. So, you can do this, but I like to do that. But I got licenses, I got certificates, I got all kinds of different things, and I got a huge amount of experience, and I had my own talent. And with that talent, I was able to believe in myself and to make my belief system strong enough where I'm able to live a nice, happy lifestyle. And once again, the lifestyle, whether you want to be in a multi-million-dollar thing or just have a nice house in Westchester like I do, cool. But it's really up to you. But you want to think long-term about, how can I have the lifestyle and what do I need to do in order to get that lifestyle? Hopefully that makes sense. You give me a thumbs up or clap or something like that if it does. Okay. Anyone else want to say something real quick? We're coming back to the last one, and then we're going to kind of wrap things up. But any other comments real quickly before we go to the last video?
My mistake when I tried to start my business last time, I didn't have a thorough plan. I didn't have a proper business plan. I was kind of all over the place. So my advice would kind of be, if you do want to start a business and you want to have that business long term, make sure you guys have a set business plan to where it's like you won't have to stop doing what you're doing to go back to change or, try to, what's the word I'm looking for? I need to find the word. I can't find the word. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it. But it's basically just have a business plan to where you can always fall back on, if it makes sense.
Yes.
A strong business plan. It's like a house.
Contingency plan.
It's like building a house. you got to have a strong foundation to get somewhere. You can't have a weak foundation because you're never going to get nowhere. You're going to have to keep trying to make that foundation stronger and stronger and stronger so you can be able to build. In order for you to have a great house, you need a strong foundation. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go.
Absolutely. Nope, you're right. You're 100% right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is 100% right. I agree with you. She is 100% right, you guys. You have to have a foundation, and you also have to, really understand what it is that you want to do, and that plan will change over time. That's why I'm asking you guys to create the plan in the Life Purpose Academy, okay? You can create your plan, and then we start working on, okay, so here are the things we can do today to help you start moving in the right direction. And then as you start moving in the right direction, you may say, oh, wait a minute, I got to make a left, I got to make a right, I got to change the plan. And then you adjust your plan to fit where you're trying to go, because that's just a natural part of running a business. It never stays the same forever. It just can't, okay? You have to be flexible and be able to move. But once you have that basic foundation, like Glenn was saying, once you have that foundation, then you know things like, and this is something I had to learn, and still just recently I had to think about this. In some businesses, you've heard the saying, all money ain't good money, okay? And that is 100% true. All money ain't good money, which then means that someone may say, hey, Eric, look here, I will pay you to do this, and I'll pay you this amount of money to do this. I'll be thinking, man, that's some good money. I really do want to go after it. But if I know that that's going to take me off course to my actual goal and take me outside of what my plan is that we've been talking about, then I can't do it, because, man, I could be chasing something that's not part of my dream. I hope that makes sense to you guys, okay? And it happens a lot. People get off course all the time because something happens, like in our particular case, someone said, hey, man, you should host events, and we'll give you a bunch of money for that. And so I said, okay, cool. So I started hosting these events. Next thing you know, I'm not even doing what I'm really trying to do. I'm hosting events, and I get good at it. And all the people love my events and stuff like that, but I'm not doing my natural business. I'm not really doing my business. So you got to stay focused. You got to have that plan and stick to your plan. If you're going to adjust your plan, that's cool. But you got to make sure that you have a foundation, like Delina was saying. You got to, like Crystal was saying, you got to have a plan that you can run through and walk through, so you know that you're heading in the right direction. Because without that plan, I mean, you could just be wandering. Okay, you could just be wandering. So, okay, let's listen to this last video, and then we're gonna have a little bit of time to talk, and we'll have a little bit more coming after them. So changing your belief system. And this is important here. Take a listen here.
Welcome back to the Dream Toolbox podcast. So how do you begin to change your belief system to redefine what you believe is possible? There's a simple and effective process for doing this that can begin with something as simple as a piece of paper. So start with a blank piece of paper. Give yourself 5 minutes to write down a list of all the things you would really like to do. This is important. If you knew you could not fail. Do it quickly. Don't edit the list in your mind as you go. Your subconscious will try to tell you, don't list that, it's impossible. List it anyway. The purpose of the exercise is to break the habit of listening to all the negative self-talk that our brains always engage in. The kind that says you couldn't possibly do that, you're too poor, you're too discriminated against, or it's just impossible. Once you have the list, then you can weed out those things that would be fun, but are not really important, and perhaps weed out some that are really impossible, like flying without wings. But be careful about making assumptions that are too limiting. Who would have thought when the first airplane was built that space travel was possible? From the list that remains, you will likely have one or more potential goals that are really worth the time and effort to make them real. That list may change with time as you change and new possibilities open. But the process is important and worth doing over and any time you feel stuck in a job or in a project or in life. Now, look through your list for those things you have always wanted to do, but didn't try because you were too afraid of failure. Then pick the one that really speaks to you as something about which you can say, I really want to do that. Finally, just do it. Either of two things will happen, both good. Either you'll succeed and that will strengthen your belief there is always a way to succeed, or you will fail in that particular endeavor. Realize that a failed project does not make you a failure, but is just part of the learning process. In either case, you will grow and become stronger. In doing this, I suggest you start with things that can be achieved within a fairly short period of time. Why? Because you want to make your mistakes soon, learn from them, and build on that knowledge. You also might want to begin to learn what it feels like to succeed and not fear failure. Which brings me to the topic of failure. In any individual project, particularly as you begin, you will probably fail one or more times. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you see failures as a natural part of the road to success and events you can learn from.
All right. So that is our last video for today. But the thing I want you guys to really think about is let me ask you this. How many of you guys know someone, and I can't say exactly who I know like this, but have you ever known someone who can talk themselves into something like, man, I don't feel well. They'll start off with, I don't feel well. And they'll say it like 2 or 3, 4 times, maybe 5 times. And then they keep talking about it, how bad they don't feel or something's wrong and so forth. And then you look up the next thing that they really actually are sick. You know, have you ever known anyone like that who people can talk themselves into doing something or not doing something, quite frankly, okay? And it's very easy to do that because your self-talk is extremely, extremely important. All for the rest of your life, you're gonna have doubts. I mean, like I said, at my age, I still have doubts. People will have doubts all throughout their life. But you have to truly believe in yourself and be ready to build that entrepreneurial mind. We're gonna talk about, this is where we're gonna start with the next class, the Entrepreneurial Mind, episode number 6. But I want you guys to just kind of see that, and this is an assignment that I'm gonna give you, and there is no test or nothing like that. I don't want you guys to turn this in, but I'm gonna give you an assignment someone gave me literally 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago. All right, I was 19, well, no, actually, no, that was almost 40, man, I'm dating myself, 38 years ago, so I'm 57 now. So 38 years ago, someone gave me an assignment, and he said pretty much the same thing that Ken said to me. So that was the weird thing, is when I met Ken and he said the words, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Okay, make your dream that big. What would you do if you could not fail? If you knew you couldn't fail, okay? How big would your dream be? And start with that, okay? And think like that. And then someone told me 39 years, he said, Eric, I want you to write out 25 things. And he was talking, Ken talked about the bucket list. What they mean about the bucket list is these are just things I would love to do, okay? Write out 25 things. And once again, if you want to, you can share these with me down the road. It's not an assignment where I'm going to check on you, but I would love to talk to you about it because we're going to be meeting on a quarterly basis. I'm going to meet with every one of you guys on a quarterly basis, and we're going to talk about your goals. Are you progressing? How can I help you? Where are we going? So I would love for you, if you do want to do this assignment, and it's called the 25 things. And what you do is you just write out on a piece of paper. It's real basic. Take out a piece of paper or do it in a spreadsheet or whatever you want to do, and write out the 25 things you want to accomplish in your life. Okay? Just write it out and have fun with it. Don't, like I said, like Ken said, don't try to justify it. Oh man, no, actually I could never do that. Who cares? I did this assignment when I was 19 years old. I've accomplished probably about 15, 16 of the 25 things. I said, I want to get married. I said, I want to have 2 sons. I said, I want to have 2 Dobermans. I chose the later, I want to have German Shepherds. I've had German Shepherds. I said, I want to have a BMW. I've had BMWs and all kinds of different cars. I said, I wanted to go to Paris. I went to Paris on my honeymoon. I said, I wanted to be a good golfer. I'm an okay golfer. Okay. All right. I said, I wanted to learn fluent Spanish. I know this much Spanish, but I learned a little bit of Spanish. Okay. So I didn't get to that one yet. I said, I wanted to, and y'all may laugh at this, but I used to sing when I was in high school, and I was in groups and things like that. I said, I want to sing the Star Spangled Banner. Never, I'm talking like the Super Bowl. I want to do what Rihanna just did, something like that. Never got there. I guess it's probably not going to happen now. I'm a little too old for that. But it was my dream. But you never know. You just never know. Put it on paper. Write it down. You will be surprised how many things come true. So take that as an assignment that I'm not going to grade. It's not something I'm going to ask you, just turn it in or nothing like that. But take it as an assignment that will help you build your life. To write off the 25 things that you think you would want to just love to do. If I knew I couldn't fail, I would just love to do this. I want to climb Mount Everest, man. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to, give $1 million away in 1 year to charity. You know what I'm saying? I want to, for me, I want to work with 16 of you guys. I want to work with 16 people who become successful entrepreneurs because of my training and helping them. And then down the road, when 3 years is over with, I could tell the next class, oh, that's no cool. I could call Crystal and Delina and Nora and Delilah and Japal and Mark, and I can call all these people to come back and talk. And Aaron, I could tell them, hey, Nandi will come back and talk to my class. So that's my dream. Okay. I want to see you guys successful. That's what I do. Hell, that's what they're paying me for. So take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? My job is to help you guys become successful. And so as a coach, that's what my dream is. All right. And I want you guys to know that, I love working with people like you guys. And this is what I do. So, this is it for the videos portion of it. There's a few things I do want to talk to you guys about before I let you go. Okay. So it's about 7:30. Before I do that, any questions, any comments, anybody want to say anything about this? Is this information good? Is this helpful?
I got a question. When you say write it down, is writing it in your notes, like in your phone, equivalent to that, or should I get real?
Yeah. Wherever you have it, wherever you store your stuff. Okay, Mark Anthony, I see your phone's dying. Don't worry about it, man. But yes, make sure you schedule some time with me if your phone dies so that we can get together. I'm gonna send out a link to get together with me also. But yes, in your phone is perfectly cool, Paul. That's perfectly fine, man. And anybody else, because once again, you keep your list. I want it somewhere where you'll see it. Don't write it down and then put it under something. I want you guys to look at this list because this is going to be your list. It's not my list. All right. This is going to be your list. All right. So yes, put it wherever you will know that you'll go back and you'll look at it over and over and over again. And if you guys, find a website, find a picture, find whatever, and put that up on there so you can see your dream. All right. That's very, very important. Visualize your dream. Anybody else want to say anything? Any other questions, comments? Is this?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this is good information for me because something that I struggle with, like I said previously, is motivation. So this kind of brings me back to grounding, this is what my goals are, and these are the steps that I do need to take, whether I knew them previously or not, definitely a good refresher to say, even though you're not motivated right now, or you could get motivated, just not the end of the world that your business is slowing down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I'll tell you this, I have self-doubt all the time. I said that 2 or 3, 4 times. I've been upset, man. I have friends. There's another thing. You don't compare yourself to other people because they have a different journey. Okay. They have a different journey. So I've been, man, my business is this size. Why am I, and that beats you up. That's negative self-talk. That's hurtful to you. Okay. You have your own journey. You have to take your own journey. It'll happen in your own time. So, you have to continue thinking about yourself. You got to continue believing in yourself. But I'm glad this is helpful for you, Crystal, that yes, keep grounded. And these things, and the reason why we videotape them, because you can come back and watch them and over and over and over and over. I have things like, hopefully you guys have heard of the guy named Tony Robbins. There's a motivational speaker guy named Tony Robbins. If you haven't heard of him, he has all these different workshops and apps and things like that just help you keep your mind in right. A strong mind that believes in yourself and so forth. And he, has all the cool terms about it, but basically is it how to keep your self-talk right and how to think the proper way about building your business and so forth. So to Anthony Robbins is his name. If you want to look him up, you can take a look at that. He's a cool guy, Anthony Robbins. He's like big giant dude, name is 7 feet tall. I met him one time and the dude's hand, I went to shake his hand and his hand gripped the whole arm down. It was amazing. But yeah, really sharp dude, Anthony Robbins. That does this kind of thing, and he calls himself the why guy. He wants to find out why do people do this. So what he's been successful at is he goes out, he talks to all the most successful people, and then he'll say, hey, Magic Johnson, what made you so successful? Not just on the court, but mentally in business and things like that. And then he shares that with other people, and he shares how Magic and the people from FedEx and the Twitter people and all kind of different people he's met, how they become successful. So that's how he's made his millions in helping other people. Okay. All right, Lamaya, you want to say something?
I was just gonna ask, you said we're gonna meet one-on-one. Is you're gonna send a link to my email or
the link for the one-on-one, you said?
Yeah, you were saying something about one-on-one, you're gonna meet with us all one-on-one.
Right, yeah. So here, let me do this. I'll put it in the chat box right now, the link. Hold on a second. Yeah, so if we have not got together for our one-on-one, it's very important that you do that. Here, let me find the link where to go.
Wait, was that
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
had a question
today
too.
or
Hold on just a second, Paul. Go ahead, Lamai.
was that supposed to be today or was that when we first met?
Oh yeah, we'll do that. It'll be a link to my calendar, so you can choose a date that's convenient for you, and then we'll set
Okay.
up a time, and we'll do that. And we'll meet for maybe a half hour or something like that. But yeah, here it is. I just put it in the chat box just now. That's how you can do
Okay.
your set up a time with. All right. So what's up,
Okay,
Joe?
then my question was, the first link that you sent was the survey, so I did that. Was there anything else we had to do outside the survey and the
No.
one-on-one meeting?
No, so the survey, and we've already done, I think you come to the orientation. If you guys have not received your login for the website, okay, so we'll do that. That's something I'll send those out tomorrow or probably by Saturday, but I'll make sure you all get your
Hold on
login.
one second.
Once you do the
Go.
post, so afterwards, do your post survey. After this workshop, do the post survey, and make sure you do that because and you need to. That'll come to me, and then I send those to the county. Okay, so yeah, make sure you take care of the pre and the post survey. And my goal, once again, is that you go from knowing about 6 or 7 into 8 or 9 or something like that. And that's my goal, is to make sure that you guys are really learning something in the class. So let me say a couple quick things here before we go. Did you have something else, Lamai, you want to say? Okay, all right. Let me say this real quick then. I'm going to show this here. 4 quick things here that I always repeat at every class. So you're going to hear me say this over and over and over. So don't get mad at it. All right. Number 1 is being on time. Most of you guys were on time. I really appreciate that. That is number 1 important for you in business. You need to be on time. And if you're not on time, number 2 is that you text somebody or you call them and you let them know that you're not going to make it. I'll be just perfectly honest with you. A lot of you guys that I was supposed to be having meetings with, I'm waiting, I'm in the Zoom room waiting. You scheduled a meeting like the day before, or 2 days before, and somehow in 2 days you forgot completely. And I'm not saying anybody, I'm talking about one of you guys in particular, but it's happened a lot where I'm sitting there, so I have to send a text and an email, and oh, that's right, I forgot. Okay, here I am. No, if you're going to have a meeting, if you're going to schedule meetings with yourself, with someone, please, number 1, be on time, and number 2, text or call and let someone know you're running late. That's all you need to do, and that's perfectly cool. People are running late. We live in LA, y'all, so everybody's always late, especially if you got to go out and meet with them. But I will tell you honestly, and this is from employers that I'm working with, that they tell me this all the time. Eric, please tell the students that back in our day, so we're laughing. So, but when I was your age, we had just planning calendars that we had to write everything in. It's a whole lot easier to forget when you had to write something in the calendar than when you have a phone that will beep, to tell you that the meeting's coming up. You know what I'm saying? So you guys need to put that thing, if you're not using a calendar system right now, make sure you do it. So let me show you this real quick. I just want you to see very quickly here. Where to go? Let me share my screen. There you go. Okay. So this is my calendar. You don't need to worry about all the stuff on there, but this is my calendar. Can you imagine me trying to, these are all you guys that I'm working with, okay? Can you imagine me trying to maintain this kind of a calendar without having a tool for it, okay? Look at all these are meetings that I'm meeting with most of you guys, okay? It's very, very important that you use your phone. And with my calendar, I have it set up literally that it will beep 1 hour before, 30 minutes before, and 10 minutes before. So please do yourself a favor, because once again, it's not important for me. It's important for you guys that in your business world, you let people know, and that you carry a calendar or something like that where you use the tools. Use technology to do that, okay? Another quick thing that I want to talk about is business email addresses, okay? If you don't have an email address where someone can figure out who you are just by looking at your email address, so if you have like a nickname in your email address, that's perfectly cool for doing business with your friends, having conversation with your friends, family, and that's cool. But when you are trying to do business, you need to have a business email address. First dot last name at Gmail, Yahoo, iCloud, whatever the case may be. It could be like I have one that's EL Moore, okay, at Gmail. Okay, I have Another one is eric.moore@Educate California. So, have a business email when you are doing business. That's very, very important because it makes you look serious. Don't have it. Seen several emails from a lot of you guys and I just laugh. And that's cool. That's cool that you can have that for fun and work with your friends, but please, when you want to do business, please, please, please get yourself a business email address. And if you don't currently have one and you decide to get one, send me an email letting me know that you got that. The county wants me to track that. Okay. Okay, Crystal Vitality. Okay, I love it. Okay, cool. All right. But at least they know who you are. They can see your name in there. Okay. So, and your company is Crystal Vitality. So that's cool. So people get that. But yes, have a business email. And if you do decide to get another email because you don't currently have one, this going to be your business one, send me the email so I can let the county know they want me to track that because that's very, very important for them. And the last thing we'll talk about here is email compositions. Okay. Emails are different than text. Okay. I want you guys to know that. Okay. And in the business world, that's a big deal. I get a lot of text and it's all one line, one line going just, streaming across the line, like in a text. When you're talking an email, no, that's not how it does. First line is hi, Eric, comma, space down a couple of times. And then you start the conversation. I just wanted to make sure that we're having a class tonight. What time is the class? Okay, I'm looking forward to class, period. Space down a couple of times. Thank you, comma, space down a couple of times, whoever. You see what I'm saying?
And like, sorry to interrupt, but I was gonna say like best regards and things like that. There's like a certain email etiquette that you should know. That's what you were saying.
Exactly. There's an email etiquette. So, and I'm glad you said that's a perfect way to put it. So you guys need to follow that etiquette, okay? An email should not look like a basic text where it's just lines and lines and lines and lines and lines and lines. No, it starts with a greeting. Hi, Eric. Hello, Mr. Moore, or whatever, whoever you're talking to, comma, space down a couple times. And then you start your text. I was just letting you know, or whatever the case, whatever you're taking, and don't have 15 sentences, go 3 sentences and then create a paragraph, start another paragraph if it's going to be long. But you guys know how to write. But the truth is that people have gotten so comfortable with sending text that they think that's how you do business too. And no, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. One of the videos we're going to look at in the next, I think it's the next one, the next workshop, Uncle Ken, as I call him, Uncle Ken talks about speaking the language of business. Okay. And are you talking hood when you should be speaking business? So we'll talk about all kinds of different things like that, how to speak the way, how to write the right way, how to think the right way. That's what we're going to be talking about. Okay. So that's it. Any questions? Anyone else want to make some comments before we take off? Like I said, you guys have done great today. I really, really appreciate you guys. What kind of questions or any type of things do you have for me?
I just want to say that I appreciate the info that you shared with us today. It's really helpful. It's going to elevate me and others as well to that next level. It's where we need to be.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. So thank you. Anybody else?
I want to say thank you as well. And
mute yourself for a second, Japal. Japal, hit your mute for a second. Okay, I got it.
My bad, it's probably lagging. But I was just gonna say, thank you again, and I look forward to seeing everybody else again. The familiar faces. Nice to see y'all. Hit me up for real. But this is cool. I really like this. This is very beneficial, and I feel like especially for young people. So thank you. You're doing great.
Very good. Thank you. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Paul, did you have something you want to say, or anybody else? Who else want to talk to me before we take off?
I want to say thank you for letting me join the class, even though I came a little late.
No worries.
And I still got to learn, some new stuff, especially with writing emails, because I surely do send them as a text message.
Yes, and that's it. And like I said, that's my job. I'm your coach. Like I said, I'm not your dad. I'm not your boss or nothing like that. So you guys can talk to me, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like I said, my kids are grown now. My youngest is 32. So now I get to work on y'all like I used to work on them. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it with love, And I'm gonna be straight up with you. If I think you're doing the wrong thing, I'm gonna say it. If I think you're doing the right thing, I'm gonna cheer you on. But my job is to be there for you. So no matter anything I can do for you, baby, you let me know. That's my job. And like I said, schedule some time with me so we can get to know each other. I can know what I can do to help you reach your goals. Okay. Oh, one last thing. Have you guys heard of SMART goals? Does anyone give me a thumbs up? Anyone heard of SMART goals? If you heard about that? All right, that's another assignment, okay, that I'll give to you. You do this on your own. Go to Google and type in SMART, S-M-A-R-T, SMART goals. That stands for, oh man, what are they? Let me pull it up right now, as a matter of fact. But it's a way of thinking about how to set your goals. So I'm gonna actually pull it up, just 1 second. Let me pull it up here. And we'll talk about this. Because if you guys are going to be setting goals, this is the way to do it. Okay. Hold on a second here. Okay. There we go. Share it. Okay. SMART goals. So SMART. S stands for specific. Okay. When you're creating your goals, you want to be very specific about your goals. You can't just say, I want to be an entrepreneur with a good business. Well, okay, well, let's go deeper. Okay. What's the next? What kind of business? Okay, I want to have a business that's in the, let's see, in the business, in the commercial cleaning business. I know somebody like that, Crystal. I'm gonna have a commercial cleaning business, okay? Well, okay, so where are you going to do? Are you gonna work all over California, or are you gonna specialize in the West Side where, you know, the rent is a little higher and you could make a little bit more money probably, okay? Okay, cool, I'm gonna do this. Are you gonna have a specific thing that you do that's special? Okay, cool. Well, now with that goal of that specific, how are you gonna measure that goal? How do you know that you are doing the right thing? Are you moving in the right direction? So you wanna make the goal measurable. So that means taking small steps. That means you don't have only a 5-year goal. You have a 1-month goal, you have a 1-year goal, you have a 3-year goal. You know what I'm saying? So you measure the goal out. How will I know when I'm taking small steps? Because you don't want to wait until a whole year goes by. You want to know, am I making progress? So is it measurable? Is it achievable? You know, be realistic about it. Is this something you can really do? And if it is realistic, something to do, is it really you could do something you could do within a year? You know, don't say I'm gonna do it in the next week, something that's really gonna take a year. You feel me? Make it an achievable goal, because if you don't, then you'll fail, and then your mind will start playing tricks on you. Oh man, I didn't reach my goal. Oh man. Well, you may not have set an achievable goal. Okay, so you need to make sure the goal is achievable when you're setting that goal. And is it relevant? Is this really going to get you to where you want to go? Is this something that's really going to be a game changer for you? Is it going to make a difference? Is it relevant for you? And then time bound. How long do you want it to take for you to get to that goal? So set a time frame in there. Like I said, I like to set 1-month goals. I set 6-month goals. I set 1-year goals. I set 3-year goals, and I set 5-year goals. And those goals change and move and so forth. Bless you, Crystal. You know, those things change and so forth all over the time, but it have to have a time on it. You can't just say one of these days I want it. You know, no, I want to get my business started by June. So therefore I'm going to this. What's my first thing I'm going to do? Is I'm going to do something very specific. I'm going to set up the corporation. That's going to be the main thing. How will I measure that? Well, I'll know that because I've set the corporation up. We're moving and so forth. Is it achievable? Yes, within 6 months time frame. Oh, no, it's a nonprofit. Okay, what's achievable is 9 months. It takes 9 months to create a nonprofit corp. So understand all those things. Make sure that your goal is achievable, is smart. You know, it's once again specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay. So once again, take a look at this, and I'll say go back and learn this, because you'll hear this a lot, and it's the best way for you to set goals. It's the best way for you to stay on track for your goals, and it's the best way for you to achieve your goals. Okay. All right. Anything else? We're just about done. Anybody else want to say something before we go? Nora, what's up?
I wanted to say thank you. I really enjoy these meetings. Do they occur once monthly?
Yes. So they occur actually technically twice monthly, but it's the same topic. So what we do is every month, and I'm going to put together a schedule so you guys will know everything for next couple months, as a matter of fact. But every month it goes this way. In the first week and in the third week, we have the same class. It's the exact same topic. The only difference is that some of you guys work in the morning, some work in the afternoon. So I have the first week it's at 3 p.m. and then the third week it's at 6 p.m. Okay, but every month for the next year, we will have a workshop with the exact same topic. So you only have to come to one, but it's the exact same topic, but it's the first week at 3, third week at 6, every week, every month, okay? Now, what we do in between in the second week is that if you have not seen the orientation, now I do an orientation where I show you really how to use the website. Hopefully you guys have been to the orientation before, but if you have not been to the orientation, we do that one in the second week of the month, okay? So the first week, 3 p.m., that's the main topic, like entrepreneurship. Second week, every month through the year is an orientation for those who are coming new into the program. And then the third week is at 6 p.m., that same topic, entrepreneurship again, okay? Any other questions? Anything else, any other comments, questions?
Wait, I do. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. So basically you're saying each workshop that we're doing once a month is the same topic, but we're going to be learning something different, right?
Oh, so no, I'm sorry. Okay, let me say it differently. We'll have a different topic every month. Okay, so like last month we had college and careers. This month we're doing entrepreneurship 1. There's 6 of these entrepreneurship classes. Okay. So we did college and careers last month. We do entrepreneurship this month. Next month, I think we're going to do banking, and then we'll do entrepreneurship number 2. And then we'll do another banking issue, and then we'll do entrepreneurship number 3. So yeah, and it'll always be the same thing where it'll be repeated in the first and the third week of the month every time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, anybody else? Anything else? All right, cool. All right, well, hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Again, I hope this is helpful. Like I said, I want to help you guys, and I want to do anything I can to make sure you're successful. So if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure that you fill out your post surveys. That way, once again, I can send those into the county and you can get credit for the class. We also are taping this so that you will be able to, in about a week or so, I'll have the video edited and we'll put it up on the website. So you can actually go back, if you missed the college and careers workshop last month, you can go on the website right now. I put up on the site, and under on the main dashboard, it says videos, and you could click on the first off, go to surveys, click on the pre-survey, do the pre-survey, watch the video, do the post-survey, and you can still get credit for last month's workshop.
Okay. Wait.
So,
How do I do the login thing again? Like, I don't think I have the login.
that's right. You don't have the login. Okay, so yeah, I will get you your login information to my, and yeah, let's like I said, let's get together soon. Next week as soon as possible.
I put a meeting for tomorrow.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow, and I'll show you exactly. I'll give you your login and everything tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So anybody else? Anyone else before we go? All right, thank you guys. Thank you. And you are all welcome. Thank you all for being here. I guess I look forward to working with you, and I hope this has been helpful. And once again, sign up for a meeting if we need to meet. And if not, I will see you guys very soon. I'll see you for next month's workshop. Okay. Take care. Well, take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye, everyone.